Three, two, one. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Creators Lounge podcast. I'm your host, Ben Jaye, and we're back for yet another episode. This has been a while in the making, to be honest. So me and Zach have met on social media. Actually, real quick, me and Zach were talking before, and we were like, "How did we meet?" And like, legitimately, neither of us could remember exactly how we met. But we met somehow. I think it was like a mutual friend or something.
Yeah, it was through one of our mutual music friends. It was.
The thing was,
like
we couldn't
3 years ago,
and so we couldn't figure out who it was. But shout out to the other friend we had. So anyway, we're finally here today, sitting down, talking, and it's going to be a cool episode. So, guys, to start things off with, let's give some introductions. So we'll let Zach go first. David, you can go second. What is your name? Where are you from? What do you do? Zach.
Okay, I'm Zach. I have gone by a lot of different names online, music production-wise, under Evergarden, Effect Rabbit, which I'm still kind of under on Twitter, and now iiyo. I am from Wisconsin. I've been here my entire life. Wait, what was the last question? Sorry,
what do you do is the last one. What do you do?
Oh, what do I do? So I do music production stuff, but I'm currently going to school for like marketing and business, and I'm minoring in Japanese.
Fantastic. Great. We'll jump into David then. David, what is your name? Where are you from? What do you do?
Yeah, David, my name. So I have probably one other account besides iiyo, and that's Toy Mecha, my stage name for that account. And then what do I do? I am also a student. I am studying computer science. I am almost done with that, so all that's left for internship, which I am kind of dreading because I haven't started applying for it yet, but that's another conversation for another day. But anyways.
All right, awesome. So glad to have you guys here. Now, Zach, you kind of mentioned about the other names you used to promote under, and when I first met you, you were using the name Evergarden. More recently, you do Effect Rabbit. Even right now, you still kind of use that one here and there. So I'd love to kind of we rewind to kind of give the audience some context on you guys as far as like, you know, your background, your musical background, things like that. So Zach, let's just start with you, man. First of all, you know, what is your background in music? You know, what was Evergarden like, that beginning for you with music production?
So the whole Evergarden project was, it was fun. I mean, I think learning music production for the first 2 years was really fun. But I realized what I made was, not the best. And, I would just kind of release it because my mom's like, "No, it sounds good, honey. I promise. Just release it. People will enjoy it. People will like it." So I did. I ended up doing it. Some of the stuff I look back and I'm like, whatever, you know. And I still keep it up. There's one night in the summer where I kind of realized that, like, I kind of just wanted to rebrand and refresh myself and almost kind of get away from that. Not get away from the name, but just get away from that kind of like older stuff that, you know, I look back and I'm like, oh, I could have done this, and this better. And I kind of moved to Effect Rabbit, one, because I thought it was a cool name. And two, just because I just kind of wanted to start making music that, you know, I just wanted to throw out whatever. I did treat it professionally for a while, and now I'm kind of to a point, I kind of realized that, you know, I can just throw out whatever. And it's definitely been like interesting to look back because it's like how you mature as a music producer. I mean, you look back at some of the first stuff I made and it's like, you clearly were inspired by this person, and you did not execute it well at all. But yeah, I don't know. And then moving to Effect Rabbit to iiyo.
I think we can get to that.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good. I think we'll get to that a little bit later on because you want to give David a chance to give his context as well.
Yes, go ahead.
You brought up some interesting things I'm going to touch base on again about realizing you were bad at music. I want you to expound on that in just a second. David, first of all, let's go to you. And David, what is your background in music, and when did you get started in production, that kind of thing?
So let's see. I think it was around 2015 when I got started in music. I kind of joined, like, went into music late in the game, like, compared to some people who, since like middle school, high school, I started dabbling with like DAWs and stuff. For me, I just consumed electronic music like no one's business before then, and it was, I don't know, like what like made me decide to actually like start doing it. I think one day I was like, how do they make music? Like, what do they do? Like, so I typed it on YouTube, and then I saw some tutorials. Like, oh, cool. Oh, it's $800. Oh, dang! I'll have to save up some money.
Well, I tried that.
So, yeah. And then I started saving up. Built my own PC, which has served me for like 7 years already for everything. But it's mainly a music production PC. It's like if you see like a little pie chart of like all the programs I have, like 75% of it's just like plugins and all that junk. But Toy Mecha was the artist account that I eventually like, because I was just messing around music. I didn't really take it seriously at first. But when I did start taking it seriously, Toy Mecha came out of it. I still have it, and I still like release stuff on it every now and then. And by now and then, I mean every year and a half, I release something on there. And I'm like sort of decently proud of it. But yeah, for me, it was some of my inspirations. I'm not gonna really like deep dive into it, but like Snail's House. Like kawaii future bass scene. That's kind of like what really like the main like sound, if I could describe it in like a phrase, would be just like advanced children's. Hey
guys, I'm Toy Mecha. I make advanced children's music. It's a great way to introduce yourself. It's great stuff though. Dude. I actually went back and listened to the Toy Mecha project. I really enjoy the stuff you put out under the name.
I do too.
Appreciate it, man.
It's like lo-fi and kawaii future bass mix.
It's a really good blend. Really good blend of lo-fi and EDM all together. So I think you executed on it really well.
Yeah, it's really well done.
To be honest though, I've met a few musicians who kind of woken that kind of, it's like a subgenre, like blending of lo-fi and EDM elements together. And I gotta say, man, to be honest, like I am pretty impressed with the way that you put it together and everything you put out in it. And it even performed pretty well over the years. I think it's racked up, a couple hundred likes and a couple hundred listens as well. So
I mean, I could promote it more. I don't know, like I'm proud of it, but it's not to the point where it's just like I made it. Like I'm there. Like it could stack up against any song. Like hey, like I'm not there at that. With Toy Mecha.
And I want to dig into that a little bit more, especially with YouTube, with both of you guys. And so I'll jump over to you, Zach. You mentioned about your mom being the cheerleader, saying, put it out there. So shout out to mom for giving you that push.
Oh yeah.
But you said at some point you realized that you realized that like it wasn't good. So talk to me about that kind of realization point for you. What was that like?
I realized that I didn't know what mixing was. I didn't really know how to mix at all. And I guess with a couple of songs like Constellations, I felt really like proud of because that was like my first like, yeah, this is good, and I was really excited about it. And I released it, and a lot of people liked it. But for me, looking back, it's like I didn't do any mixing on that, and like it's like if I were to show this to like not a record label, but like a mixing company or something like that, like they'd be like, okay, yeah, we're not gonna hire you. But like that's not the main point of why I'm writing music. I'm writing it to enjoy it and enjoy the process and be proud of myself at the end. And at the time I was, but I guess I just went through this kind of like little bit of a dark age where I was like, this isn't really what I want to make, and this back then was a self-expression of me, but I want to change that. And that's what Effect Rabbit was. And I started that project wanting it to be really professional. And then I kind of got into I want this to be a project where my fans can watch me progress and grow on in both music, well, just in everything really. So yeah.
Yep, makes sense. Yeah, it's the artist's journey, right? Because every single artist goes through the whole stage of like, you know, getting into music, not knowing what the fuck is going on, figuring out a little bit over time, more and more, and then have like the whole identity crisis of like, I'm not good enough, no one else is gonna like it, you know. It's there's like such an evolution, you know, of being a music producer. So I am it's interesting to hear that you going through it as well, and I'm not sure where you're at with it now, but like where are you with it right now, Zach? How do you feel about like your current releases and stuff? Do you feel more confident?
I do feel confident in myself. I mean, right now I've kind of gotten to this mojo where it's like I have to really like a song to release it, and if I don't end up releasing it, it's just going to be something that I try to pick stuff apart of and learn from. And a lot of songs I am confident in, but I have to be confident in them for a while. And I mean, that's the majority of it. The confidence is there for sometimes, and then it goes, and it's kind of what I'm trying to say is I am so wishy-washy on these projects I make. Yeah.
Well, it's human nature though, right? Self-esteem itself is a very up and down thing. You know, we go through good stages, we go through low stages. Life happens to us. And so, like you were saying already, music is an expression of the self. And so whenever you're having troubles in your personal life, that's obviously going to be reflected through your music and affects your self-esteem, affects your confidence and everything. Jumping down to you, David, because I'd love if you want to jump in. You know, you talked about, you know, being okay with the songs you released and everything, but still not feeling like you were confident enough to push them and promote them and everything. What's been your experience with self-esteem and music creation?
Yeah, so for me, like, as long as I'm seeing progress, like, and it doesn't matter how slow it is, if I can perceive it, then I'm sure I should be fine. But there have been times in music production where it's just like a wall, not like I sound just as good or just as bad. That's a better way of saying it. Like I did like 3 months, 4 months, 5 months ago. Like, what's going on? Like, why is like my sound not evolving, not improving? And my therapy was just watching tutorials. That's how my therapy was. The bunch of YouTubers that I subscribed to, that I followed. Yeah, like I took a few like different like production courses, like just on my own free time, that outside of YouTube, that, you know, have helped me in some aspects, in some ways. But I don't know, like, music production, for some people it's a job, you know, like that's what they do. They're producers, you know, and they can like treat it like a job. They clock in, they clock out, you know, say like, you know, mixing, they treat it like a job. With mastering, they treat it like a job. That's it. For me, it's a lot more involved emotionally when I produce, because it's like I'm a very like artsy person. And so for me, self-expression is very in music. And so sometimes when I sit in front of a computer, open up my DAW, it's like, you know, I'm looking to find sounds and kind of like knit them in such a way that where like I can express a certain feeling, you know, I can capture a certain mood that I'm trying to go for. And if I can't do that, then I'm like panicking all of a sudden, like, oh, what's going on? Like, I feel bottled up, you know, and that's happened so many times, but I stuck with it, you know, like eventually something does click, something does work, and you know, that's what fuels my addiction, if you will, to music production. You know, that's why I've stuck with it for so many years. Does that answer your question?
Oh, absolutely, man. We're just trading thoughts here, to be honest, and it's interesting to hear you guys' points of view. Yeah, it's hard, right? Because like you said, David, like music is different for every single person. And so, for some people, it's just a hobby, and that's a great thing. It should just be a hobby. They should enjoy it. For some people, they're trying to like make it big and like put stuff out there. For other people, they've already made it. And so now it's just for them. They've got the system down of like, okay, I got to finish up this remix this month, this song this month, got to do press releases this month, And so, everyone's at different stages with the whole journey, and you really got to get comfortable with where you are. Because having dissatisfaction with where you are or hating where you are isn't productive in terms of like helping you feel better or helping you to be more creative, Zach, jumping over to you real quick, I would wonder if you want to drop your thoughts on it real quick as well. Obviously every creative goes through those dry spells when there's no creativity, there's a burnout, there's pressure to be performing in terms of making stuff, but you can't make stuff. What's been your experience with that? What helped you pull out of it?
So definitely inspiration from other artists. I mean, one I can think of right off the bat, which, everyone said, every single person on Twitter has said, but the Nurture album from Porter Robinson has definitely been a big refresher for just music production. I had this friend in college, I'm still in college, but we were friends like last year, and she brought up a really good point because I was dealing with writer's block, and she said, just walk outside, go for a walk. You like walking? And I was like, I love walking. You know that I love walking. I do kind of like walking, but
It's great, dude. It's great.
Just play music. Just play music that you like, or make an inspirational playlist. That's what I did. I have a playlist on my phone. It's full of songs that are inspirational to me. That I will go walk or longboard and just listen to them when I need a break, or I will hop on Discord with some friends and just play games and kind of think about it in the back of my head. More recently, I'm not doing this anymore, unfortunately. I'm going to try to still, but I've been trying to like zone myself out only on music, sit in a room with like no internet and do music. Unfortunately, I've had to move back away from where there was no internet due to circumstances I won't get into. But bitches be crazy. That's all I'm gonna say.
Understood.
Yeah.
Wait, I'm so sorry, man. I gotta know a little bit more. So, like, you were at a place like with no internet, or?
Yeah, so
really, how interesting. And you don't have to go like the personal details. I'm more curious about the effect on creativity, because a lot of people just live life connected. So like, what was it like for you creatively to be at a place with no internet? Was it good, bad? How did it affect you?
I actually really enjoyed it. I was in a place where it's like right on the water. It's like it's essentially my parents' cottage.
Right.
I moved in there with all my studio stuff. And I would sit there in the room that has no AC, where it's 95 degrees, and let my brain melt. And hopefully my computer
self-torture always spurs the creativity.
And I did start some projects that they're pretty good, but I just need to work on them some more. And I might go back there into that 95 degree hot house when it has AC again.
Oh, that's wild, man. That's wild. Yeah, it's interesting, right? Because, there's always pros and cons. And so, like, with the internet, it's a huge deal because we're able to talk with people around the world, online classes during COVID, you can get YouTube tutorials like David said. But on the other side, if you're letting it use you, then you're just giving away your energy, you're giving away your creativity and your focus to it, and you're not getting anything back from it. So I totally get how, not having internet can be a beneficial thing. I even have a friend, contact on social media who, like, she'll disappear for 3 weeks, come back and say, hey, I turned my phone off for 3 weeks. I was just having some me time. And I was like, all right, good for you.
Exactly.
So I get it. I understand the lifestyle. So at some point then, Zach, you and David met. When was that? What happened there?
Right around probably when I met you, actually.
Really? No kidding.
Yeah. I think it was probably like 2-3 years ago.
Okay.
It was, David, you're a mod of that Discord server now, right? It's like a music production Discord server.
Oh, Compose.
Yeah, and you sorry,
it's like
David, you look so proud. You're like, yeah, I'm the mod now. I did it.
Yeah, it's like I've been the mod for a while, but it's not like it's not a huge server. There's only like 20 active people.
It was small at the time,
Mm.
but
It's
It's
but
cool that
is
it's
that
lasted
how-
this long. That's so awesome that the community still exists.
yeah, I reached out to you because I was like, I liked your stuff, and I was like, we should do a collab. Collab, bro, collab. Like,
I think I
and-
know where we're talking about. EDMP, the Discord
Oh no,
server.
yeah, it was
They had,
EDMP.
back in the day, they had like a collab bro thread where you can like post like little pitches for yourself, like, yo, I'm this producer. This is my idea for a project. Who wants to do it with me?
Yeah,
But they
and
took it down for some reason.
I think I reached out
I think
to
that's
you
it.
that way, and we just started talking that way.
How interesting. David, what was your first impression of Zach? Obviously saying, let's collab, bro. What was your first impression checking out his music and everything?
First impression, what was my first impression? Just like chill dude, super nice, like, and not toxic.
Yeah.
So, because
which can be hard to find.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but it's like, I think up to that point, like my interactions with other producers were like, you either like English is definitely your second or third language, or you're like still in like middle school.
So I guess
So,
that's
I don't
referring
know,
to more
it's
of
just like it was nice to meet somebody like in the same like what do you call it, like
Demographic.
stage in their life,
Okay, I
like
see.
the 20s, like that, and like going to college like me and stuff. So but yeah, and so we were just able to like hit it off really well. We had I don't know,
I see.
a lot in common, I guess, and both really wanted to become better at music. So
makes sense. By the way, shout out to all the people who are super young or are using English as a second or third language to build their production skills. Like you guys are doing it. Like it must be so scary, like to be out there trying to communicate another language and build skills, But like you said, David, you do need to have someone who's able to communicate with you clearly. Especially if it comes to collaboration, to be able to make sure you're executing on the ideas and on the same wavelength. So that is important for sure. Zach, how about you? What made you? Was there something specific that made you reach out to David, or were you reaching out to a lot of people that time with like, let's collab?
Oh God, I think I reached out to like 2 or 3 people. David was the only one that responded, but the one thing that I was like, I was praying. I was like, this guy's music is so good and so like, it's so different and. I never did a collab. I mean, this is iiyo is the only collab that I've really done. I've done other collabs, but I've barely like influenced those projects. But it's really funny because I just remember me being really excited for him saying yes and just getting along with me really well. And it was really interesting because after we met, like I never talked to David or like met him in person. Like I never saw his face, never heard what he sounded like for 2 years. Like, and it was kind of like we just shot music back and forth at each other for a bit while we were doing this collab, and just got feedback from each other. And I think it really like this collab built into like a really healthy relationship and a good partnership for sure.
Gotcha. Makes sense. So you guys meet on Discord, start going back and forth, trading some song ideas, start working on a collaboration. When did you choose the name iiyo? Give us some story about what that one means. I have, for my rudimentary Japanese, I think I know what it means, but I'll check to make sure you guys have the same translation. Zach, you want to take that one?
For like, oh God, I don't like. iiyo can mean a lot of different things.
It can, right.
I personally think, I mean, it really depends on the situation, but for me, like an iiyo just means like, yeah, okay. Like, yeah, sure, let's do it. Like iiyo, it's going to be okay. And for naming our duo, that's a whole nother story because we went through a lot of names and it took us probably at least like 2-3 months.
Woo.
Yeah.
It can be hard to name projects. It's not always easy. Yeah, for the audience, real quick. Yeah, for iiyo, it comes from two words in Japanese. There's the word I, which basically means good, and there's yo, which is a sentence ender. And so if someone says, like, do you want to go to the park? You might say iiyo, and it just means, like, okay, let's go to the park. So, yeah, it's kind of where it came from, iiyo, and iiyo for the name. David, how did you feel about that? Were you into, like, Japanese culture, into Asian media, or?
I want to, proudly say that I'm a weeb. That's something people are proud of about around where I'm from, at least. But I like Japanese culture. I used to watch a lot of anime. I don't anymore because not because I don't like anime, but because it's like if I start One Piece, like I'm screwed. Like I am royally screwed. 900 episodes. Like me, the guy who, if I pick up a book and start reading it, I have to finish it. Like, come on, two together is not good.
I don't mean to interrupt,
Jump
but
in.
I just remember, David, we had a meeting on Saturday, and you just looked so tired, and you were like, "Yeah, I stayed up all night watching this one anime, and I didn't get any sleep." And I'm like, what are you doing to yourself? Like, it just looks like pain.
It's a David thing, that's my own name.
Yeah, exactly.
Cliffhangers are the worst.
Yeah.
No, I really have to watch the next episode.
Hey, it's hard. It's hard to prioritize sleep. Okay, I'm speaking from experience as well, so I know what you mean, David. But okay, so you guys are trading thoughts back and forth. You chose iiyo, but like Zach, you said it was like a 3-month process of deciding on that name, right?
Yeah. So we went through a couple
Let's
other
go,
names.
Dude. Let's go.
So essentially, what we did was we just came up with a list just of like we spent a week where it was like, come up with any name you can think of, and we shared each other's lists. We gave each other our top threes. We decided to go with a name, and I did some video stuff for it. I made an email account. I did everything, and I thought we were set. And then I think it was me, actually. I was like, I don't know about this name, man. I don't know, because it was two words. It was altar lilies, but we had it where it was like the altar, like the object, and altar, like I'm altering something. So it had like an A and an E. It was weird. But I think we both just kind of mutually agreed that like maybe it should be something else. So we went through the same ordeal. Write the list of what you think, do this, do that. There was a lot of weird ones in there. There's some fun ones, there's some ones that were really confusing, and I think eventually we both just got kind of tired of it. We're like, screw it, just do this one. So yeah, I mean, it was funny though. It was a fun time too.
Yeah, it's wild, right? There's so much that goes into being a musician, and it, for me, I kind of question, is it necessary, or is it slowing the process down? It's stuff like, for one, a big one that a lot of musicians face is like not having enough gear. Like they're like, oh, kind of like David, you said, you see a DAW, it's like $800. Like, wow, what am I gonna do? So getting gear, you feel like you need a keyboard, you feel like you need some MIDI equipment, you feel like you need a DJ deck, and then name, like, what's the name? Is it perfect? Does it reflect me? I gotta make the email address, the social media accounts. Like, there's so much thinking and stuff that goes into these musical projects that we choose, and it can be, you gotta keep it in its place, otherwise it eats up your time and your life and your creativity.
Exactly. For anyone who's like just a producer starting out who's listening, like, honestly, all you need is the DAW, and if you want to spend money, you really want to spend money, just get a VST that you like. That's a synth VST. That's all you need. You don't need anything else, really.
You don't need, and I'll actually, to go off of that, Zach, like, I'll say, like, you don't need anything. If you're really passionate about making music, like, just fucking start recording. Grab your iPhone, or your Samsung if that's what you use, Android, just record the piano, put it into like Audacity, start, playing with the different tracks in there.
Exactly.
Like, you gotta be creative. You gotta get creative. Stuff like naming or branding, that can come along the process as you figure out more about who you are and what you what represents you. But if you want to get creative, just be creative. And, you know, obviously you can go through your own process like Zach and David did of finding out what name best suits you and everything. Did you guys specify, I'm not sure, I'm curious if you guys did or not, you know, choosing the name iiyo, you know, going forward, you've been working on like the collab for like, you know, the past 2 or 3 years, if I'm not mistaken. Did you guys give like, whenever you guys were like making the project in the early stages, did you talk about ambitions for the project? Did you talk about like certain goals for the project or not at all?
Not really. So how it started was this project actually started off that original collab when we first met, which is, I think it's pretty crazy. But we started it as a kawaii future bass track, and we worked on it for 3 months. Then we didn't talk for 6 months. Then we worked on it for 3 months. Then didn't talk for like 3 months. And eventually, I think one day, it was last year, one day I was looking through old projects and I found it, and I reached out again and I was like, hey, like, we just need to finish this. Like, I just like, this is really good and I like it. Can we just work on it and finish it? And David worked on this project so much, like, we both put a lot of time into this, but I really have to give it to David for putting in a lot of time for this. Because he did a lot of stuff for this project, and like you have to kind of realize like stuff that goes wrong, or like, I shouldn't say stuff that goes wrong, but I feel like in a duo where you're working together, you kind of have to realize your flaws. And my projects are so messy. My projects are so messy. And David's projects, you look at David's projects and it's like, it's all colored on the side and there's everything's colored.
Different groups.
This is here and all the custom names and stuff. And I don't even want to know how long David spent just going through it and like naming each individual thing and mixing it. Well, I don't want to know.
By the way, I'm going to make a guess here, David. Tell me if I'm wrong, but the 6 months you guys didn't talk, you were walking through High School of the Dead, right? You kind of like walking through that? Walking through like the anime series in the 6 months? No, I was joking, man. I was joking. But yeah, so like Zach is saying, you know, obviously you put a lot of time, it sounds like, into the mixing and organization of the project. Go ahead, dude. Give your side of the story. Like, talk about the production process of Lily.
So there were a couple of times where I thought the project was just like a dead horse, and I just kept beating it to get up and do something, but it wasn't. So I just like, I don't know. I didn't want this project just to go into the bin of, you know, other projects that I didn't do something with. And so I literally just willpowered my way, like there multiple times, just I don't know how to explain it. It was excruciating. Those moments during working on this project were painful. Like, I felt physical pain working on it. Just because it's like a combination of like technical issues, CPU resources, organization. Like mentally, I need to like have a clear map of where everything is. Or maybe just I don't even know like what the crap is gonna be happening in this section of the song. Like, I have no idea, and I'm just flipping through presets, listening to music, tweaking random knobs, pressing random notes, trying to see something. You know, if I hear something I like, then I play around with it more, try to like see where that idea takes me, if it can inspire me with another idea, and so forth and so forth. But yeah, it was 2 years for one song. Yeah, 2 years.
It was long.
Who does that?
Yeah, other than Porter Robinson, not many people.
Yeah, exactly.
There was a start, there was a middle, and there was an end. But you know, they say like the hardest part of a song is the last 20%, because it's like an exponential curve. At first, it's like, bam, you're cruising through the song. You're progressing, it's going, and then it starts to go up, and boom, then that last couple percent where you're just trying to get everything to sit well, all the elements perfectly, you know. And yeah, and then your ears, like, that's the thing. You can't just like sit in front of a computer for 20 hours, because your ears are going to give out way sooner than you. Then you're just gonna lose the ability to hear things that are good, things that are bad. You have to like space out the times that you work on a track, or you're just your ears are just gonna be numb to, and they're just gonna fool you. You're gonna think what you're working on is amazing, and then take a couple of days of a break, come back to it, and it's trash. It's utter, complete garbage.
There's so much that goes into the whole art creation process. It's part of it's technical, but so much more of it is mental and physical. In terms of having balance in your life. And so a lot of the stuff that you're referencing, David, I think every musician experiences it, especially because a lot of us, I feel like, I'm taking a big guess there, but I feel like a lot of us, have mental health disorders like, I hate to call it disorder, mental health conditions like ADHD or ADD or OCD, and things like that make it even harder to finish the project, because it's like the attention to detail, the wrapping up the final parts of the project. Like, if you have a mental health condition like OCD or ADHD or things like that, you're gonna have a hard time. Have a hard time.
I will also say though, that we probably would have been finished with this project a lot sooner had we not had other things going on in our lives. For me and Zach, like we want this project to succeed, and we'll do everything we can to make it succeed. But like we both agree that school, because that's what we started with before we even started iiyo. That's a priority for us. So until like get our degrees and stuff like that, and find work in our jobs and stuff like that will like probably take priority and stuff. But like I do agree on your little sentiment, like mental health, and like I don't have ADHD, but I know that you can because like if you can have symptoms of it depending on how much technology you consume, so you can train your mind to behave in a way like that, and that's kind of how it is for me. I consume technology like it's business, and I feel better about like toning it down on my end a little bit, but that's something that I struggle with. Distraction. Like, oh, someone's texting me. Oh, this, that. Like, oh wait, I gotta focus on this. But yeah, I can sympathize and empathize with anybody who has to deal with that. So.
Yeah, it is important to build discipline. Discipline's important no matter, who you are, where you are. It's important to have boundaries for yourself, have discipline for yourself, have priorities for yourself. And so, going back to what you said about, making university the priority, like I totally get that. And so it's something I should talk about real quick, because I think that I often tell a lot of people, to get started or to be doing what they want to do. I should give a quick subtext to that, not to you guys specifically, but more to the audience who knows me. Like even from like my own situation, even though I was making music all throughout university, I didn't really take content creation or music production seriously until I had nearly fully graduated. I was like in my last year or so, then I really started going hard on promotions and marketing and advertising and things of that nature. So, life is different for every person. We do have different priorities. We have different stories. You shouldn't beat yourself up if you're not able to go all out, all in on these projects. You do got to pace yourself and make sure you're giving yourself time to finish what needs done. So yeah, it's important, David, like you said. Whenever you commit to university, if that's important, you do need to see it through. And then obviously music's not going anywhere. We're creative individuals. We're always going to be creative. That's not going to change. And so there's time for that as well. It's easy to pressure yourself or stress yourself about what you should be doing, but should is fake. Should doesn't exist. There's only what you are doing. You are doing this. And so if you're happy with it, keep doing it. If you're not happy with it, change it. So yeah, priorities are super, super key. Obviously we come to now where you guys have finished the song. You have put the song out there. It's on all the streaming websites and everything. How do you guys feel about it? Having it out there finally after all this tribulation, all these challenges and growth. David, you want to go first and then Zach?
Yeah. Oh man, it feels good. It feels really good. Like, I don't know. I am super proud of this track. Like, this is a track where I don't care who asks me. I won't be ashamed to play it. I've shared this track with so many of my friends, and I remember, like, I don't know, like, it's feedback from other people. If I like something, it wouldn't really matter if to me all that much if they don't like it, because I understand people have different tastes. That's the thing, you know. But I haven't received like negative feedback yet, which is kind of a weird thing.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
I don't know how to take it. Like, you guys must be awfully nice, yeah. But I don't know. It's just nice, you know. I think it's that Lily, the track, serves as a good foundation for iiyo for future releases. It's a solid track. I think it marks a lot of what we're about, which is just like overcoming. You know, like this track was just like an uphill battle, but we overcame it. We walked to the top of the hill. Now we're just staring down, you know, and you know, going downhill is always easier, and that's how I feel like it's going to be with every track from that we'll be working on for at least a good while. It'll just be kind of downhill because we're taking all the lessons we've learned from this track and kind of like cruising with them.
Yeah, I'd seen, David, your message you posted before the release about how to you the song kind of represented, you know, breaking through barriers, perseverance, you know, not giving up and everything. So yeah, I respect you, man. I'm good for you, you know, not giving up and seeing it through to achieve the vision that you had for it. You know, massive congratulations on that. Zach, for you, the way I kind of interpreted your message about it was more of like always reaching the next height, you know, hitting the next height, you know, doing a little bit better than last time and everything. So share your thoughts, man. Let's get into your mind on this. How do you feel about the release of Lily finally 2 years later?
It feels weird. It feels weird that it's finally finished because there's so many, like, you open up that project and it's like there's 7 different arrangements and each one is like a different song entirely. It feels good though. It definitely feels like this is a battle that we both have won through friendship now.
Yes,
but
through self-torture and the power of friendship.
Yes, exactly. But definitely through communicating, saying, you know, we should do this, and it feels really good. It feels good, but also there's this sense of like, oh God, what's next? Like, are we gonna spend another 2-3 years working on another project? But Lily is a special song, and it'll always have a place deep inside me for just how much fun it was to work on it, how it felt good when it was done, the craziness of my CPU almost exploding whenever I pressed play. It felt like David said, it's definitely a solid foundation of like the music that we want to make for this project, and I think it was definitely a solid foundation for like how far not only I've come, but how far David has gone too as a musician. It was an experience for sure, an experience I won't forget.
By the way, guys, I'm so sorry, but like we keep referencing the self-torture thing. I think I honestly want to name the episode "Self-Torture and Friendship" iiyo on the Creators Lounge.
Do it, go for it. That's literally what it was.
Right? Like ear fatigue, no AC. It's like these guys nearly died to make this masterpiece.
Yeah, for real.
But no, it's a great song, and I have listened to it. I really enjoyed it, so I'm glad that you guys are getting positive feedback on it, that people are enjoying it as well. But we do need to talk about like Lily, because I am curious. I'm sure some of the listeners and your guys' fans will be curious as well. If you guys are okay with it, you know, who is Lily and what does Lily represent to both of you?
So the song or the character? I'm assuming the character, right?
Character, correct. I'm assuming it's based on a character of some sort, so
yes. God, there was a phase this past year. Well, we had a lot of time to do marketing for this.
Oh no,
song.
Zach! Did you have an imaginary girlfriend, or what's about to unfold?
No. So we kind of, I went through this phase of where I loved Igloo Ghost and like his entire like world creation stuff. And I kind of bounced off of that for marketing, and we kind of came up with the story of like, oh yeah, for the marketing for these projects, what we should do is we should have this character. And there's not going to be just Lily, probably, by the way. Lily is just for like this year. For 2021, there's just going to be Lily and all the songs we make in 2021 and release. Don't know if we're going to release any more, but it's just going to be stuff with Lily. And kind of like this journey of, oh gosh, I don't want to say too much, but it's just more this journey of that character, kind of representing, I guess, the journey that we took through this song. Yeah, just I guess like all those photos I took on that you can see on Instagram are just like me walking through my college campus and taking photos of places and just drawing over it, because I couldn't really think of an aesthetic too much for the project, which we solved through. But Lily is kind of a representation of this project and a representation of our current time when we were releasing this and our journeys put into this character called Lily.
David, I think that Zach said a lot about his own take on Lily. Is there anything you want to add to it as well? What does Lily represent for you?
So Lily represents for me just a character. So what we did there was a certain point, after we finished the song, we were like, what do we want? Like, what world do we want to build around the project of iiyo and stuff like that? Because we were inspired, like Zach said, by Igloo Ghost. A lot of the different story, like world building elements of Studio Ghibli. And so we kind of wanted to create a character that is immersed in this kind of fantasy world and there's this craziness that happens in her world, and she's navigating through it, essentially. All I'm going to say is that each song that we were going to release will kind of shed light on more of her story, more of her background. The song Lily, it doesn't have any vocals. It's an instrumental song, but we're looking to actually, for future songs, incorporate vocals. So actually have like lyrics that people can read, can sing to, and these lyrics will hopefully talk more about the story. And we're still trying to figure out exactly how we're gonna storytell, if that makes sense. How we're gonna educate our listeners, our viewers, or how we're gonna tell the story, through what ways, and not besides just the music, whether it be through the art, whether it be through other mediums, but yeah, it's pretty much her story, and which is going to be revealed over time. That's pretty much what I want.
Love that. Yeah, storytelling is. I'm huge on storytelling these days, and I think it's just going to become more and more relevant in the scene, especially with the rise in NFTs now. And I'm not sure how much you guys have done research on that, but obviously with NFTs, it's going to completely change the scene for a lot of creatives and especially musicians as well. And so I feel like it's just kind of my observation from the outside looking in that storytelling will become even bigger with music, because like you guys are saying, once you have a character, you can make art about it, you can make music videos, you can be telling stories about this character that can be marketed through an NFT. It can also be a music video, it could be a concert tour, so I feel like storytelling is definitely going to become more a part of the scene as we go forward. I think especially for the EDM scene, because like you mentioned, David, actually a lot of EDM songs don't have lyrics. There's a lot of artists who like to just make like a club banger or whatever, and so finding ways to storytell even through that will become probably more important as we go forward with music and everything. I should ask, actually, I want to ask you, Zach, because obviously you're studying marketing and promotion and business, at university. How important do you think social media is for a musician? and kind of how are you approaching that with both Effect Rabbit, first of all, for your own personal stuff, but then now iiyo as a collaboration project?
I think definitely if you're gonna like, social media marketing is definitely getting bigger, and you look at brands like KFC and all these other places, not necessarily music, but even like music social media stuff is so big. I haven't taken too many marketing classes yet, but I can tell you right now, as someone who's going into business, that social media marketing is going to be very big still. I mean, you look at the rise of TikTok, and my God, Twitter and Instagram are just constantly flooded with like
Content.
Yeah, exactly. So like, if you're gonna go into marketing and stuff right now, I'm not going into social media marketing. I'm still like, I still know stuff about it. But if you're probably like just getting into business stuff, you might want to consider it. One of my friends is going for it. I think as someone who's an artist, social media marketing first you have to have good music, right? But if you have social media marketing and a social media presence, it's just gonna kind of like almost shove it through the door more. There's so many people that I know that are really good, really good producers, but there's no social media marketing really. There's no marketing or promotion for it. And marketing and promotion for music is hard, man. Like, daily posts is, me and David thought it was gonna be easy. It wasn't easy, like, you know, but it's just something you have to, I guess, work on. But yeah, it definitely pushes your music through the door and gets it out there a lot more. Everyone's on social media nowadays, just constantly. It's a constant feed. Oh, I'm eating dinner. Shit, I'll go on Instagram. I'll go on whatever, you know? And it's like, oh, there's a new release, or this is coming out, that's coming out, whenever. And you mark your calendar. I think it's huge. It's very much a big push.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. And it disappoints me. It makes me so sad for a lot of creatives. Because to me, anyway, what I see as kind of the crux of the conversation is, what is your intention with your music, or what is your definition of success? Because like, if your intention is just to make fucking good music, then, you know, and you don't care anything about recognition or making money off of it to sustain your life, you know, if that's your mission, just to create great art, then, you know, good for you. You got to keep doing that. But I meet the majority of people who I meet and I talk to, they're people who want to make great art, and subconsciously they also want to make it with music. They want to be making income. They want to be doing it full time. Some of them admit it to themselves. Some of them say, like, I do want to make it full time. Other people don't admit it, but it's very obvious they feel that way. So, you know, subconsciously. Yeah. And it just breaks my heart for them, because they haven't understood the connection between making great art and then showing it to the world. If you're making really cool music in your basement, putting it on SoundCloud, and that's all, no one knows you exist. There's just too much out there. You know, you got totally washed by the waves. And so if your intention is that, if your intention is to make it with music, which is totally valid, it's totally fine. Like, it's your life, it's your art form, be proud of it. Then, you know, you got to get into social media marketing, because no one knows who you are. They don't know what you're about. They don't know your mission. They don't know your values. And so, yeah, getting your toes wet with social media is really important if your ambition is to be making with music, you know. And obviously, you know, like you said, Zach, it's not easy. So you definitely have to find a system that works for you. You know, find a schedule that works for you, that helps you to be creative consistently and be putting stuff out consistently. But yeah, it really comes down to, you know, what is your ambition with the music, and being very, very honest with yourself about what that ambition is. And then after you know the ambition, you know, taking the action on that ambition. Otherwise, you're going to be setting yourself up for failure, obviously. Yeah, for you guys, you know, obviously. I'm sorry, Zach. Yeah, go ahead.
One other thing that's getting a lot more popular, me and David have been on the like Discord music scene for a while, but these like music servers where they do events are getting a lot more popular and a lot more recognition too. Can I do a shout out?
Of course, go.
Shout out to Form, the Form group. Everyone there, great job what they do. They do music competitions, release it. And if anyone buys it, all the money goes to charity. Definitely check them out. It's a fun project. Great people. I think they're verified on Discord too. But yeah.
Yeah, they do the all-nighter project, correct?
Yep,
right.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah, no, they're great. I love. Yeah, it's a really cool project. I've had some of my friends get put on by them as well, and so it's a really great organization. You know, people promoting music. You know, giving people a platform. I'm all about that. I love it so much, and I understand completely because it's hard for musicians. You know, especially because a lot of us tend to be kind of reclusive or kind of personal, and so it's hard to both be making stuff that you fucking care about, and then also being public and talking about it openly whenever you're kind of an introvert person. It's the music world is it can be savage. You gotta really take care of yourself.
For sure.
Really got to take care of yourself. And I guess in that same vein, I wanted to ask you guys about self-care. Obviously with university, with music creation, being on social media, Discord, personal lives, how do you guys practice self-care? Zach, you mentioned about taking walks earlier. Is there any other practices that you guys have? Zach, you want to go first, and David, you can go second. How do you guys practice self-care?
Oh God, I don't even know where to start. I've been learning a lot about self-care these past couple of days because you can put this in the episode, it's fine, but my girlfriend broke up with me a couple of days ago, so I've been learning a lot about self-care, and that's why I'm moving my studio and stuff. But my self-care is just more of taking me time. Really, you need me time in a world where we're constantly connected, constantly with each other. You need to throw your phone out the window. You need to turn your computer off, and you need to sit down on a lovely blue couch and read some books. Reading is the most self-care I do, besides waking up, showering, brushing my teeth, and occasionally working out.
Yep.
And doing the walking thing.
Yeah. I love that, Zach. And I'm very sorry to hear about the heartbreak. Obviously, that's not a fun situation, especially with everything that's going on already. But yeah,
I said, oh, sorry.
You're good, dude. Go ahead.
I said, bitches be crazy.
Life is not easy, right? It's always that fucking roller coaster of ups and downs. And so, yeah, I hope that you're able to pull through it well, man. Obviously, it sounds like
I'm doing fine.
All right, you've got the basics. It sounds like like you said, waking up, taking showers, fucking basics. Those are the way to get back on track. So, David, how about for yourself, man? How do you practice self-care?
For me, my diet is really important. If I just eat a bunch of top ramen every day like I used to, good things do not happen. But over the past couple years, I've been able to figure out like how to like budget better and save up money in such a way where I can afford a little like better quality foods. And so yeah, I just I'm really picky about what I eat, and I just try to just eat a good meal, solid, decent, good meal every day. Make sure I have some good meat on there, some leafy greens, some veggies, some good carbs. Stay away from the junk food as much as possible. But it's not always easy, obviously. The whole money thing, the whole social thing, because your friends inviting you, they want you to eat out with them. Some of your friends will have just a random bag of Ruffle chips in their backpack that they'll pull out, and they'll that may or may not have happened recently. But
we may or may not have talked about it before it came.
but yeah, so healthy eating and limiting technology use, that's a huge one for me. If I'm sitting in front of a computer screen for more than 2 hours, maybe I'm just old, but I start aching, and that's kind of like my internal like little timer going off where I need to get up and move around, go for a walk, get some vitamin D, and yeah, that's been the two big things for me: just limiting technology use and just focusing on healthy eating.
I love it. Yeah, no, it's funny, right? Like, we talk about self-care, but it's there's nothing fancy or mysterious. Like, it's just fucking basics, you know, get a good night's rest, you know, stay healthy, like eat good food, exercise. Like, if you can just cover the basics, like it's gonna work out. Stuff gets better. And so, like you said, though, David, like it's not hard, it's not easy living up to even just the basics sometimes, you know, temptations, distractions, low self-control.
Yeah.
So yeah, the basics are the most important thing. And I also want to ask you guys as well about your expectations for yourself, because that kind of plays into it as well. I know for myself, you know, there's certain ambitions I have, there's certain goals I have, and whenever those goals become so important to me, sometimes the self-care kind of drops a little bit, because like, do I really need that much sleep? Do I really I can live off of, you know, top ramen for one night, right? And so I was curious for you guys, you know, what are your expectations for yourself? What are the ambitions that you guys have, you know, for music or for your lives and for yourselves in general? To make it more succinct, you know, what is your definition of success, I guess we could say instead. So you guys can take a minute to think about it if you want to. Zach, do you want to go first on this one? And again, take your time if you need to think about it.
I might not exactly be coherent through this, I guess. There might be times where I stop and think.
Word vomit, just take some time and speak it through. Yeah.
Exactly. So I think me and David can kind of agree on this, that, I mean, you know, if we make all the money, go to the festivals, it's great. But I mean, for both of us, I think it's more that we just want people to hear what we make and hear the time and emotions that we put into this song, and have as many people experience the art that we made as possible, and for us to get it out there as much as we can, which ties more into social media marketing. And yeah.
Love it. So just basically create something you care about and share it with the world then, right?
Exactly.
Love it, man. Love it. Jumping down to you then, David. David, what's kind of your definition for success? You know, how do you think about your ambitions and your expectations for yourself?
Well, I don't know. Like I compartmentalize my life quite heavily. So like my music is one thing. My associations and my friendships with people are another thing. My schooling is another thing, you know, and so forth and so forth. And so I think I would say I have a definition of success for each area in my life that's kind of like almost independent, but in reality it never is at all. It's all kind of intertwined and everything. I would say I would want a big enough following to where I can reach out to artists that I admire and know that it's reached my music, or our music, me and Zach's music, has reached them, and like almost like an acknowledgement from like your older brother, you know, like when your older brother acknowledges you, you know, like when these artists that you look up to acknowledge you and stuff like that. When you know you've earned their respect as a fellow artist, I think that would be a big deal for me. I'm very huge. I'm big on, you know, mutual respect. You know, respect is a big thing for me, and so if I can get that from the people I admire in the music scene, then that would be a big thing for me.
Awesome, man. I love that. Yeah, it takes time, right? It takes time, takes effort to build reputation, to build self-esteem as well. I think that's one of the interesting things about respect that you guys have probably experienced this as well, is that people don't respect us until we kind of respect ourselves, you know? And so all of life is that whole journey of, you know, self-development, self-acceptance, self-creation, you know, self-actualization. And to be honest, like that never ends. You know, you get a little bit better at it over time, but it just continues to unfold as you get to new plateaus, new peaks, and everything.
Yeah.
So,
exactly.
With that in mind, Zach, did you want to add something onto that?
No, I just 100% agree with what David said too. You know, like just having someone who's really like I've looked up to, recognize it is would be really nice too. So.
I totally get that. Zach, go ahead, dude. Name drop. Give a few musicians. You know, you didn't mention any artists specifically. Like, what are some of the artists that you really look up to that you would love to see? We'll give a little bookmark right here and maybe come back to it in a few years.
Okay. Well, obviously Porter Robinson. Fritz, very underrated. If you haven't checked him out, go check him out. Man makes beautiful, wonderful music. What are some other ones? Skybreak, which I've talked to before. He's a nice guy.
Mm-hmm.
Gosh, who else? Igloo Ghost. Igloo Ghost is a great one. All the big future bass boys like Elenium, Said the Sky, now Dabin too. All those guys. Those are the ones I can think off the top of my head.
Love it.
But there's probably so many more, especially so many like, gosh, what's his name? A Cloudy Sky. He just released an album. Album was amazing, really good. Love his work. Go check him out too. So yeah.
David, did you want to jump in and drop a few names as well?
Yeah, he already mentioned some that I was going to mention. But Virtual Riot, if I can get Virtual Riot's attention. What? But some other artists that aren't really like in the style of iiyo, or like anywhere near that genre of music, but I still like really admire. Like Snail's House is a big influence for me. Kamome Sano, she's also a Japanese kind of future bass kawaii artist. Check out her music. Really good. She's super underrated. Like, please, like, people, just go to YouTube, type in Kamome Sano, listen to her music. You won't regret it. Who else? Syntheon. Yeah, the guy's super good. There was one other artist I wanted to mention here. What was her name? Let me get back to you guys. It'll come to me while you're talking.
Whenever you think of it, pull it up. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Take as long as you want to. Obviously, we can edit it down later. But yeah, I love the artists you guys mentioned. Yeah, all those people, insanely talented, very talented musicians. So yeah, it's cool, right? Because like you guys said, I think especially in the underground EDM, that kind of sense of respect is still very much alive. In terms of like networking, but also mutual respect. Giving people like the props and everything of like, I saw that, I recognize that. And it's the EDM scene, underground EDM scene is so connected. It's still so connected. There's a very thin line between artists who are considered mainstream underground and underground, Yeah. And the lines get blurred sometime as well. So.
Oh.
Yes.
Sorry, I remembered. PsyQ. I don't know how you pronounce it. But it's like PSYQUI, something like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Future core artist.
Really
Japanese, really good.
Love it. Awesome. Yeah. All right, guys. So understand the background and where you guys are right now and everything. I am curious a little bit about the futurescape, what's unfolding up next. Let's talk about the iiyo project first of all. What's next for iiyo? The moment of indecision.
David, I'll let you take this one.
Okay, yeah. So work with the vocalist. That is our priority. We've been sending each other ideas, like sketches almost, if you will, of different chord progressions, of different just melodic ideas back and forth. We haven't really settled on any particular one quite yet. We've explored a bunch of them, but I'm thinking if we can just get a solid lyrics, solid songwriting, solid singing, that would be the next step
awesome.
In our iiyo project. So
Zach, did you want to add anything to that or just same thinking?
Sort of same thinking. If there's any vocalists out there that want to hit us up, please do. We are more than willing to try and work something out. But also I guess just there's some limitations. Like we're both. I'm not in school right now. David is, and we're both kind of. Some stuff has come up in life for both of us currently. We've tried working on new projects, and some of them do sound good. There's one where it had this beautiful violin in it, and we'll probably still work on it. But it's just kind of like we're in this point now where we're throwing stuff at the wall, and does it stick? Does it work? Or and then getting that vocalist, and it's like, well. Are we writing for a vocalist? Are we not? Are we gonna have to change all these things? And I think that's pretty much it.
Love it. Always finding better direction, more clarity, and more focus. How about for the personal side of things, guys? Anything on your agendas for the personal life? David, you want to go first on this one?
Sure. Yeah, like right now, I'm just trying to finish my semester here strong. I'm probably 4 weeks away from finals and stuff, so yeah, I'm just trying to get all that figured out, because I have an internship to worry about pretty soon, and yeah, so if you guys believe in prayer, then send prayers my way.
For sure.
But like, yeah, that's kind of like, I'm a simple guy, school, music, that's about it. That's about it for me right now.
Hey, it's a good life, man. No judgment here.
Thanks, appreciate it.
Best of luck then, dude. Yeah, obviously finding an internship can be a bit difficult, especially, post-COVID. It is pretty competitive and not a lot of slots open. So I do hope and pray that something, opens up for you, obviously. Best of luck on figuring that out. Zach, how about for yourself, man, on the personal side of life? What's going on for you?
I've just had a lot of family stuff going on and that breakup. And I've just been learning a lot about myself and my values, but as well just maturing as a person. Definitely over the past year, I've matured so much. And it's really, I think it's cool. I think I've matured so much, and that I'm really proud of myself. And I think I'm really like, oh my gosh, all my friends were like, yeah, she broke up with you. I can't believe it. Like, you're not going to take this well. And I'm like, whoa, like, obviously I'm not like that all the time, but I'm coming out of it a lot more confident in myself and a lot more realizing what I want. And I'm not going to lie to you, man. Any girl you meet does not deserve a breakup song, and I am trying so hard not to write a breakup song right now. Oh my gosh. But yeah, just working on myself.
Write the damn song, bro. You don't got to release it.
Bro, oh my God. This is what we need. This is the iiyo song.
Yeah, well, maybe, who knows?
Lily's breakup.
My heart out into it.
Yeah.
Breakup. How could you leave me? XOXO. No spaces.
A lot of anger, a lot of rage there. Just get it all out in sound. Awesome. I love it, guys. Oh, man, I really appreciate you guys jumping on, being so open, sharing your thoughts on the process and where you are and everything. I always ask the guest, if they're comfortable, to leave a message to themselves of 1 year in the future. So you guys can take a minute if you want to think about it, but to the yourselves of 1 year in the future. So that'd be like June 13th, 2022. What would you guys say to yourselves 1 year later? Who wants to go first in this one?
Can you give me an example of what that would look like?
So basically, David, like here you are now, but 1 year later, I'm going to hit your DMs up, man. I'm going to say, hey, man, you said this to yourself 1 year ago. So anything you want your future self to hear from yourself right now, could be a word of motivation, could be a joke, could be a reminder, whatever you want to say to yourself 1 year later.
Yeah, I mean, you're doing well. I'm sure you're doing well, obviously, but just keep pushing through. This stuff's never easy. Nothing you'll ever experience will be easy in life. You just got to keep pushing through and realize that you're going to have family, friends. You're going to have people that surround you and love you. And there's going to be people like David and Ben that want to do podcasts with you and reach out. And, well, I reached out, but anyway.
I answered the DM?
You're going to have people around you, like these two guys that are going to laugh at stuff you say. And keep working on music, keep working on whatever you love doing. Yeah, I don't know where you're gonna be. You might be doing other stuff, but just have fun. Just have fun and do stupid stuff. Safe, stupid stuff.
Future David, we love you, Future David. Yeah, like
yes, we love you.
I'm sorry,
David
Future Zach. Pardon me, Future Zach. We love you too. Sorry, so we don't love Zach anymore. We only love David. Exactly. No, but for real, Future Zach, like, dude, we got love for you, dude. Like, we're all out here together. The internet's a small place, even though it's a big place as well, and so. Being able to have connections like this that have lasted for so long. I've never done this before. I'm gonna give a quick shout out to Future Zach. Yeah, Future Zach, stay on the path, dude. Wherever you're at, stay on the path. David, how about for you then? Jump in.
Okay. Don't do anything stupid, okay? We're gonna slap you silly. Just kidding. I would probably tell you, Future David, to don't forget about balance, moderation in all things. Don't give all your time to just one thing and neglect everything else in your life. Make time for everything. Don't rush into anything. Take your time. If you meet a girl, then get to know her, and find out about her and if she's crazy or not. And she is. There's other fish in the sea. Don't get hung up on that. What else? You got this, man. I'm your biggest fan. Okay.
Love it.
So make me proud.
That's beautiful. All right. Thank you, Zach. Thank you, David. All right, guys, this has been really cool. I always end the episodes with a speed round. So I'll give a very quick question. Just give a very quick response. Let's go. I'll say the question. Zach, you say your answer.
Okay.
David, you say answer. I'll give a question. Zach, give an answer. David, give an answer. We'll just go around like that. Okay. All right, guys. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Favorite color?
Blue.
Navy blue.
Favorite food?
Oh, steak.
Pierogies.
Favorite day of the week?
Friday.
Saturday.
Favorite movie?
Perfect Blue.
Oh, freak. Saving Private Ryan.
Favorite song at the moment?
Oh gosh. Summer Ends by American Football.
Future Drive by Kamomi Sano.
What leisure activities do you enjoy?
Playing guitar and being with my family.
Making music.
What countries do you want to visit?
Japan, France, Russia, India, Brazil. Oh, probably that's it. Oh, and Korea. South Korea, not North Korea.
Both of them. David,
Sorry.
go ahead.
Colombia, Peru, Brazil, Chile, a lot of the Latin American countries, and Russia.
What languages do you speak?
I speak English fluently. I am at an N4 level in Japanese, almost N4, I should say. I know a little bit of French, but I've forgotten all my French I learned in middle school. So
I speak fluent English and fluent Russian, and I am learning Spanish at the current moment.
Name one person alive or dead that you want to have a conversation with.
Oh gosh, probably Porter Robinson. I'm a huge Porter Robinson fanboy.
Probably Jesus.
That would be interesting.
Agreed.
And
That'd be very interesting.
And last question,
very
how do you want people to think of you?
Someone as kind and smart who's just giving in his all, and who needs a break sometimes.
Probably somebody who's very chill, very nice, non-confrontational, not non-contentious, and who's genuine.
All right,
Just
guys.
himself.
Fantastic. Awesome. Zach, David, thank you guys so much for jumping on the episode. That was incredible.
Yeah.
We talked about a lot of stuff today. Is there anything you guys want to say in closing? Any last messages we didn't get to cover? Zach?
Just thank you. I mean, thank you for supporting Ben. He's a great guy, awesome guy. What he does is really good, and he puts a lot of time and effort into these, like, so you better be listening good.
Thank you, Zach. I appreciate that, man.
It's been fun.
It has been fun. So thank you for reaching out to make this happen, to be honest, dude. My schedule's a bit tight these days, so I appreciate you reaching out that we could hook up and do this, because yeah, this is really cool. You know, we have known each other for a long time, so to be able to sit down and actually talk about the project in depth, this is what I live for, to be honest. You know, hearing the behind the scenes, hearing the stories, seeing the growth and everything. So thank you, Zach. David, anything you want to say in closing?
It was nice meeting you, man. Yeah, like, you make music, or
I do
just,
make music.
like,
Yep, I do make music. Yeah.
I do want to hear your music.
All right.
I do want to hear your music. Send me some links, man.
We'll make that happen. To the audience watching, thank you guys so much for being here on the episode today. You've got to check out these guys. Obviously, we have Zach over here, Effect Rabbit. We have David down here, Toy Mecha, and they've combined together for the project called iiyo. Highly recommended listen. They have some really unique sounds. They put a lot of quote into their music, as you guys can tell from them talking about the process today. So please go check out their socials, show them some love, check out the music, the tunes, and drop some support, because yeah, they're out here doing their thing. Everyone, I thank you again for watching. We will see you on the next episode. Take care and have a great night. All right, guys, that's a wrap.
Yeah,
that's a wrap. How do you guys feel?
That was a lot of fun.